You are now within seconds of horror because we are going to take a look at some creepy videos on the internet. And as always, let's go ahead and get right into today's video. This very first creepy video comes from the Paranormal Files on TikTok. And I forgot all about this news story where this 911 dispatcher received a call from a funeral home.
Unanswered questions after a 911 call in Pueblo from a funeral home and cemetery. August 11th, just before 3:30 in the morning, the police department communications center got a call that they refer to as abandoned, meaning the other person hung up. So they called back, got an answer, and heard mostly static. An officer was sent out to check out the funeral home and cemetery and says it was locked up and dark with no one in sight.
So that phone call that you just heard was coming from this funeral home and cemetery in Pueblo, Colorado. The call came in at 3:28 a.m. and when the dispatcher at the police station picked up the phone call, they listened, nobody said anything, and then the caller hung up. However, as you heard in that video, the police dispatcher then called the phone number back, and that's when they got that spooky voice. That is just one of the creepiest things I've ever heard, I do have to say. And that call and voice came from somebody or something within the cemetery gates. There's just something so eerie to me about stories of people receiving phone calls or text messages from their loved ones who have passed on, or even in this case, receiving a phone call from an empty funeral home and cemetery. It's completely unexplainable. To this day, there's been no explanation, and that audio recording haunts me.
Now, if I was that police officer, I would have just made up that story. I would have just said, yeah, I went up there. I went up there. There was nobody there. It was locked. And the whole time I would have been in my car about 5 miles away from the cemetery. What really creeps me out about that news story is that you can actually hear a voice or voices through that static. Now, I told a story on my other channel, Minutes of Horror, where when I was a boy, I lived with my family in an older home. We had no phone. Well, we did have a phone on the wall, but it wasn't active. We had no service, and it was like that for quite some time. This phone that had no phone number, no service, just one day out of the blue started to ring. My dad and I, we were home alone. Of course, we were both scared, and I still to this day do not know how he got the confidence to answer the phone. But when he did, he heard nothing but static and a faint voice that kept telling him over and over again to call child services now. Then about 5 years later, we were living in another home, which was more haunted than the last home that I still had to make a video about. But I was home alone. I was upstairs in my bedroom. The phone upstairs started to ring. I pick it up and I hear my mother's voice on the other line with a bunch of static telling me she's home to come downstairs, which I thought was odd. Why are you calling me on the phone and telling me to come downstairs? But I go down there and she's still at work. And I am the only one in the house. Needless to say, about a second later, I was no longer in the house. I darted out of there so fast, I can still see the smoke trails to this day. But when it comes to creepy voices, this one definitely does take the cake. You can hear Princess Diana's voice during the Queen's funeral.
Is irreversible, and the fact that she's
as you can see, here in London, it is a lovely day, and as the
even the reporter was taken back, and even if somebody in the background had interrupted him or was talking over him by mistake, in what context does the death is irreversible fit or make sense? In a normal way anyway, because we do know these people do get down with rituals, but I'm talking about in a normal, everyday conversation. How does that make any sense whatsoever? And it really does sound like her voice. In this next video, yes, people can be mentally unwell. They can have mental health issues, that is true. But it's also my personal belief that people can be tormented by dark spirits. They can have darkness that surrounds them. This video may be good evidence of that. Now, the voice actress for Pocahontas, she was arrested for disorderly conduct at a hotel. She had a meltdown on hotel staff, and this is what was caught on camera. Well, part of it anyway. This is very easy to miss, so I'm going to go ahead and play it at normal speed. As she is going to the door and saying, I don't know what that is, look at the bottom of her feet. You can see something black form, and then it moves under the wall. I'm going to play it at normal speed, and then I'm going to go ahead and slow it down.
No, it's like what I know.
Does this work?
In law is I am supposed to be about this amount from you.
Does this work? Does this work?
I don't know what that is.
It's your cell phone.
I don't know what that is.
Stop.
I don't know what that is.
It's your...
So some people are trying to debunk this and say that she kicked a rug up, but as you can see, I zoomed in as close as I could, and you do not see a rug there. They are also saying that this may be her shadow, but she was standing there for quite some time, and this thing just suddenly formed out of nowhere, and it went directly under the wall. This to me looks like some kind of darkness came out of her and left. Some people are saying that she may have even been possessed by a shadow person, and I don't know, but taking a look at that, something came out of her. But that's what I see, and that's what others see too. But again, there are others that are trying to give a more rational explanation. I just don't see it.
My Lord.
Well, somebody else remembers. I didn't know you.
We had a cuff on her, and what's your name? What is your officer's? Excuse me. Excuse me. What is this officer's name? What is his name? I need to know his name.
Durkin, 114.
Durkin. Is that your name?
That's me.
That's you. What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? Officer Durkin. Officer Durkin. I need to know.
Let me get on the...
No.
Yep.
No. No, I am
now.
not.
You will go to jail on a felony. Let me go.
I am not letting you go.
Let me go.
You tell me his name. You tell me his name. Officer.
Chill out.
You tell me his name.
Listen.
Officer. You tell me his name.
Nice. Come on.
I will not let go of his leg. I tell you. Tell me his name. I will not. You have treated me this way because I am this way.
No.
I will not let go of his name until I know his name. What is your name? What is his name? I need to know his name. Of course you want to give me his name.
Relax.
But of course you won't.
Dan, hold on. Let me...
But of course you won't. I will not know. I will not go. You officer, no. 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 I am not here. I am not here. I'm good course. I am not here on good course. You officer. You officer. You officer. You officer must know I am not here on good course. I am not here. I am not here on good course. I know. I know. I am not. You will know. No, it's just difficult.
Part of the job?
Yeah.
Well, at least it counts.
No, the count. Well, does the count? Yeah.
Part of the job?
The job. Yeah. I mean, this is not hard. Like you just get to drive you from one place to another.
I'm probably staying up late. Trying not to drink 10 bucks of coffee.
So what's your name? Durkin?
Yeah.
Like that's the hard part of your job? Staying up late? hard part of working? Not anything else. Oh, talking to people is another hard part. The hard part is working here and now talking to people. That's your hard part. Really? Oh, good job there, man. Your hard part is working with people and talking to people. Your hard part actually is your job. My Lord.
Well, somebody else remembers. I didn't know you.
There, man. Your hard part is working with people and talking to people. Your hard part actually is your job. Wow. You better not talk anymore. Yeah. What's your name? Oh, you're a soldier. You know what? My grandfather and my grandfather's father and my grandfather and my father and my mother and my mother's mother, and guess what? Until me, all of us have served in the field and given our blood. So, you, oh, yeah, do my job. Extra job. It's so hard. It's so hard. Oh, now I get it. Like, you know, that's what I did. And now I have a thing against, you know, government property. Oh, I hurt government property. I have given my phone, my parents, and my parents' parents, and all of ours health and well-being has given to you. Has given to you. You know what? My sister, she's a grand sergeant in the Air Force. You know what my brother is? You know what my father is? You know what everybody around myself has? You know what I have done in the service of my country? In the service of my country? In, like, of myself, of my own life, let alone them, but of course them, but of course them. But of course them. Do you think I deserve to be back here? Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. And you know what is going on my country's service? This. I am Pocahontas. I have done everything I can in my whole life, in my you don't even know. You don't even know. You don't even know.